All right, I'm Jay Daniels. We got Eddie Wayne with me. Today, our first video. What are we going to start with? March Madness Bracket.
Madness.
Start with the Midwest.
Absolutely. We'll break down the number one seed, Kentucky. Can anyone knock off this team?
That's going to be the question. That is the question. I mean, Vegas put it up. It's either Kentucky or the field, and I don't know, man. I think, like we said, it's a one and done. It's not a 5-game series. If it's a 5-game series, I'm taking Kentucky all day. But it's one and done. Look what just happened with Georgia State. Georgia State on a buzzer beater. Knocks off Baylor. Anything can happen. That's why they call it March Madness.
Absolutely, yeah. I completely agree with you. I mean, I definitely think that the field is definitely the best bet to go with. You can almost play 5 in, 5 out, and still have 2 top teams in this country this year. It's pretty crazy to start out the season. 30-0 and get to 34-0 through the SEC tournament. I can definitely see them going to 40-0 and completing this undefeated streak.
Yeah, last team to do it was Indiana. 76.
Yes, sir. Yeah, and I mean, it hasn't been done. We're coming up on 40 years now, so it's not like it's an easy task, and I don't think they'll just be able to walk through the field, that's for sure. I think they'll definitely have some slip-ups along the way. We've definitely seen that in conference play with them this year. They've had a couple close calls where they've needed a few things to go their way for sure to stay undefeated, but I think you can definitely see some games like that in March Madness.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. So let's start off with the Midwest. I mean, we've been talking about Kentucky, but do you see anybody in the Midwest that can potentially knock them off? Or it looks like a pretty easy ride for them, but I
really don't see anyone that can knock them off in the Midwest, at least. I don't think they'll. I've been reading. They're not going to be. They're going to be double-digit favorites at least until they get to the Final Four.
Right. Right.
You look at the number 2 seed Kansas. You look at Notre Dame. Kansas this is a down year for them, even though they're number 2 seed.
Yes.
They only have I think 3 losses on the season.
I think they were rated too high. I think they got ranked too high.
Completely agree.
I mean, if you look at them, they're a number 2 seed. They have 8 losses. They're 26-8 at a 2 seed. That's if you look at all the other 2 seeds, Arizona's 31-3. If you look at Virginia, 29-3, and then you look at Gonzaga is 32-2. How does Kansas get in there with 8 losses?
Yeah. No, I mean, that's the whole thing. Kansas, 8 losses and a number 2 seed. Notre Dame, maybe if they get on a run like they were in the ACC tournament, they might be able to knock off Kentucky if they get a hot shooting. Looking at the bracket right now, I see the 12 and 13 seed. I definitely think either Buffalo or Valparaiso knocks off either Maryland or West Virginia and then upset there. I don't think the 2, 4, and 5 seeds will move on. I think definitely one of them at least, maybe 2, will get knocked off in the first round. So, again, that's just going to make the road a little bit easier for Kentucky if they end up matching up with one of those 2 in the Sweet 16.
Right.
Yeah,
I agree with you 100%. Buffalo's a strong team this year, and West Virginia is looking a little lackadaisical. So Buffalo I definitely see Buffalo taking that one.
Yeah, Buffalo, well-coached team. It's their first time being in the dance. Bobby Hurley's coming back from his Duke days and using a little bit of his coaching skills to bring them into the tournament, and they look really good. They play together. They're a good team. They got good guard play, and that's all you need in this tournament to get on a little run. You can get some guards that can, make a good run for you. You're going to do well this tournament.
All right, so we'll move right over to the East region. You got Nova up as a 1 seed. We talked about Virginia as the 2 seed. Do you see any team in that could potentially go down? 1, 2, 3 seed. I mean, I see one. I want to make sure that we're on the same page here. Which one do you see that not making it to the Final Four in that?
Honestly, I think this is the worst bracket out of all of them. And unfortunately, I'm going to be in the East regionals in Syracuse to watch these games. I wish we would have gotten a little better of a draw. But it's probably, I would have to say Virginia is gonna take it all in this bracket, in this region here.
If you had to pick one that's not making it to the Final Four, who you picking?
Number 1 seed?
You think Nova's getting there?
Absolutely. I do not see Villanova getting there to the Final Four.
I don't see them at all. I think Nova is completely overrated. Like you said, that's probably the worst region. And everybody's saying, Nova. They're number one. They're number one for a reason. But to tell you the truth, I can see Lafayette giving them a little struggle. I mean, Lafayette shoots the ball incredibly well from three. I think they're averaging about 41% from three. So, if you got a team like that that's going to light it up, it could be your night. And I can see Lafayette giving them a run for their money. But I do not see Villanova getting to the Final Four.
No, definitely don't think they're getting to the Final Four. Looking at Virginia, I honestly think they're, either second or third best team in the country, in my
Absolutely.
opinion.
Hands down.
One of the best defensive teams in the country for sure, if not the best, when you look at them and how they played all season. They've been on a good run, and I think they'll definitely continue to march through this region. They do have a tough road, though. Michigan State, I read a stat the other day that said that if they would have shot 70% from the free throw line in their games this entire season, they'd only have 3 losses on the year. So, just shows you how much basketball comes down to free throws. Make your free throws, and you're going to advance. You're going to win games.
Exactly. Exactly. Move right on down to the South.
Yes.
We got down there on the South. You got Duke as the 1 seed, Gonzaga's the 2 seed. Duke's heading up against the winner of the North Florida Robert Morris game. And then you got Gonzaga's playing North Dakota State down there. I have a couple teams in here that I can definitely see, a couple sleeper teams that could advance. Davidson's one of them, shoots the ball very well from 3. Eastern Washington shoots the ball very well from 3. And like I said, when you got teams like that can shoot the ball, it could be your night. If you shoot 23s and you're hot and you make, half of those, that's 30 points right there. So I can definitely see Eastern Washington, Davidson, making a push in this tournament.
Absolutely. We've already looked at this bracket today, and I see 2 upsets right off the bat. UAB comes in, knocks off number 3 Iowa State. UCLA goes in as 11 seed. People were questioning whether or not they should, even be in the tournament. They come in, win, knock off SMU.
Exactly. So, I actually had them picked in one of my brackets.
Yeah, I think this is definitely by far the most interesting region in the bracket, and I can definitely see a lot of things happening, a lot of different scenarios playing out here. But ultimately, in the end, I think Duke takes it and wins the South.
Yes, absolutely. Duke, that might be the easiest road for any 1 seed. Duke, they, like I said, they play North Florida, Robert Morris' winner. And then after that, it's either San Diego State and St. John's. And then I guess the highest seed potentially from that would be Georgetown. But like I said, Georgetown's going to be facing a tough team against Eastern Washington. Georgetown they do not defend the 3 very well. And with Eastern Washington being in the top 25, shooting the ball from 3 in the country, that's going to be a tough matchup. So if Duke gets the best seed, it would be Georgetown. Like I said, that's going to be a walk in the park for them. So Duke definitely gets through that.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think as much as I don't like Gonzaga in this tournament, I do think they're a little overrated. Although Wiltshire has been a great addition coming over from Kentucky for them this year, I think that they'll definitely get to the Sweet 16, maybe even the Elite 8. But I'm not a believer in the Zags, unfortunately. I never am. They always seem to let me down around tournament time. I don't think this year will be any different. Now, though, with the 2 upsets, they've got an 11 and 14 seed that's going to get in their way at some point. So I think the road is a little bit easier for them, but don't be sleeping on Davidson in that second round for them when they after they knock off the first round. So
Davidson, exactly right. They shoot 3 very well. Great. The Steph Curry comes from one of the best shooters in the NBA right now, and where did he come from? Davidson. So, like you said, don't sleep on Davidson.
Absolutely.
But we'll move over to the West now. Now this is I got a team in here. I think Wisconsin. Like we said, if there's any team that's going to knock off Kentucky, I think Wisconsin is the team right there. They're always well disciplined. They're extremely talented basketball club right there, and I think that Wisconsin is. I think they give Kentucky a run for their money. I think Wisconsin does it this year.
I think this is the first time we're going to disagree in this bracket so far. I actually have North Carolina coming out of here. I really like this team. They have size. They have good guard play. They have veterans. I think they can match up with anyone in the country. They're definitely one of the best teams. They can, come in and beat anybody on any night. They can also go in the building and get blown out any night. So if they get hot at the right time, I think they can definitely make a run in this tournament. And they can definitely be one of those teams we can see in in Indianapolis in the Final Four going up against Kentucky.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I do agree with that. I do see Wisconsin and UNC. That's going to be one hell of a game. I see them. I have them both make it in the round of 16. So that's definitely going to be one to watch. It's going to be a good one in Los Angeles on March 26th there.
Absolutely, my birthday.
There you go. We'll do the Final Four. Who do you got? Who do you got? We'll make it quick. Who's your 4?
I definitely go with Kentucky. Definitely Kentucky beat North Carolina and playing Virginia in the national championship, knocking them off. I think we'll see a low-scoring game, 2 good defensive teams, but ultimately I don't think anyone can stop Kentucky.
All right, so now what about the East? I agree there with Kentucky. What about the East?
Virginia versus Duke. We're going to Virginia to beat Duke, get a little revenge from earlier in the season, end up against Kentucky where Kentucky takes the whole thing. So
there you go. So you're saying Kentucky, and then you got Virginia, and then Duke, and then you're saying UNC, right?
Yes, sir.
So I have the same matchup, but I'm going to say Wisconsin down in the West. That's going to be our only disagreement for this episode. But like I said, that's going to wrap it up. Next episode, we're going to talk about some of our one of our picks. Eddie's going to talk about his pick, and then we'll have one more episode where I'm going to talk about my pick for tomorrow's games. That's going to wrap it up tonight for SharpSiders, and we'll see you next time.